Okay, I'm going to call it to order at 8:21 and turn it over to Yu Hong, who's our leader this week.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Yu Hong. I'm the leader this week, and welcome to our week 5 meeting tonight. So this week we have Lisa is a facilitator, and Dave is a scribe, and Jeannie is a timekeeper. So let's get started. So you all have this agenda here. So we'll discuss the presentation for next week, the PowerPoint presentation. So. Um, First, we'll talk about descriptive title of your presentation, group members, and date. So do you guys have any idea about the title?
So I guess it should center around the health promotion intervention we're going to be doing.
Right. So, or maybe we should actually talk about the first. We talk about the intervention first. Yeah. So, yeah. And then if we have the intervention, then we also have the objectives for the presentation, which is the second item. And
we haven't officially decided on an intervention yet, correct?
right. And also, this says only need one intervention. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's a small project. So I don't know how small it could be with one intervention.
And it's older adult home health, right?
Yeah, older home health, and for community dwelling older adults. So I was thinking about like I did some research and literature, and I was thinking about physical activity, like a kind of promote exercise program to promote physical activity to maintain their independence, in the community.
I think it's a great idea, and it also promotes socialization. I found an article somewhere that I read, I'm sure I printed it, that was on senior-led activities. So it's led by a senior, like an exercise or walking program led by another senior, and they seem to be more responsive to peers.
So it's good for their physical health and also psychosocial health.
Yeah. What do you think, guys?
I'm good with that. I think that's a good idea because I think we could vary it from different things, not just walking, but you could also do like water aerobics or something else along those lines. I think that we could tweak that and make it work.
I run a senior program at our hospital, and we do all kinds of variations. We do walk with the doc out at the museum. We do yoga exercises in the classroom. We have doctors come in and do health lectures. Every year we do a eating healthy for the holidays presentation, and our chef comes in and does shows healthy cooking, how to kind of tone down the fat and the salt content in your food, and serves them all like a little Thanksgiving dinner the week before Thanksgiving. So any kind of ideas like that you want to expound on, I can help with those ideas as well.
So do we want to just do one program, or do we want to do physical activity and have 2 or 3 classes?
I think we'd be better doing 2 or 3 different classes for physical activity than start implementing physical activity and then food health or nutrition or something like that. I think if we focused on one or the other, I think that would be better.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a small project, and also with our budget, it's like what, 10 grand? Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So
that sounds good. So then what do we want to call it? Getting moving again?
Oh, you mean the program name?
Yeah, what do we want to call the program?
Oh.
Moving arthritis.
What was it?
Moving arthritis.
But what if those don't have arthritis? It's just like kind of, promote their health. But they don't have to have arthritis.
I bet that's the minority. Yeah, I'm getting moving again. Something catchy like that.
Yeah, move and thrive.
How about the golden something? The golden age. Moving and thriving in the new millennium. I don't know.
That sounds big.
Moving for. Hang on. Let me think. All right, let's go on to the next one. We'll keep thinking about that.
Yeah, okay.
So, but I mean, can we focus this? I mean, this is like an older. We're focusing on the older adult, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about moving and grooving into the golden years?
I like that.
Yeah, sounds good. Mm-hmm.
There we go. Moving and grooving into the golden years. But yes, it should just be the older adult, Dave. That was my understanding.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We have an age group besides older adults.
That's kind of what I was thinking, Lisa, is like, are we talking like 60 plus? Should we outline that, or do we want to group
No,
it up?
65. We have, I think,
yeah, 65 and up is
65 and older.
65 and older is what they classify an older adult as. But this is one in community living, so they're probably a little bit older, right?
Yeah.
I guess what I'm thinking is that if we do put an age on it, then are we limiting family member participation? If somebody wanted to take their grandmother or something along those lines, are we limiting participation by putting an age limit on there? Or do we just put a disclaimer at the bottom?
Yeah, I think we put a disclaimer, family members welcome.
I think we should. I think if we do specify an age, we need a disclaimer.
That's a great idea. Mm-hmm. But because we do need to focus on this lifespan group, so we have to say it's 65 and older.
Yeah, I think we need to I think you're right, Yuhong. I think we need to focus on that age group, but I do think we can put a little disclaimer at the bottom that if family comes, that'll encourage them. And then we can do, at least one of them, I'd like to do senior-led, like a senior-led exercise program. Like my mom she's 87, and she's in senior sneakers and stretch and bend.
Wow.
Senior sneakers and stretch and bend, and that's through their a local gym, and Medicare pays for it.
Wow.
Medicare will pay for their gym membership.
Mm. So we can find like a senior role model or something, or what do you mean by like senior-led program? It's like a
It means that the teacher is 65 or older also.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
So it may be held at a gym or community center, but the one actually leading the group, like the instructor, is a senior.
That's great. Maybe she could be a retired nurse. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm. Who used to work for DRHA. So, yeah, she's now a volunteer back here. Mm-hmm.
That saves us money. She's a volunteer.
Well, yeah, and if Medicare pays for their, if we used a gym and Medicare paid for their monthly membership, then it might just be getting mats and getting equipment and advertising out. It wouldn't be, if we could get the gym part, the actual building, paid for, and a lot of them have swimming pools, so you could have a stretch class, an exercise class, and a swim class, aerobics class.
Doesn't the doesn't it have a PT department? Why can't we use the pool at the PT department or the room there?
We could. We can do anything we want. It's our program. The way we want. Let's see, I'm looking. Okay, so then we have to describe a current problem you have identified in the lifespan. Disease, condition, health literacy, access to care, health policy, ethics. And what is the significance for the problem for the selected group, and what is the significance of the problem relative to health?
Maybe those with chronic illnesses, so they need, maintain their mobility.
And chronic illnesses, that would be a good one. Chronic illnesses how about chronic illnesses to retain their independency?
Mm-hmm.
And that would include mobility.
Yeah, that's all I think. Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of things, there's a lot of research about socialization and exercise and all those things that help people with chronic illnesses and a lot of comorbidities retain independency.
Right.
And then data theory. Okay, I just stated a theory.
Data theory.
You have to do a theory. A theory covered in this course that you will use to frame your intervention with. What book were the theories in? I'll grab the book. Do you remember?
I think I mentioned the health belief theory, and
is that Pender? Or is that?
Yeah, Pender. And I think some of you mentioned something else, like a self-efficacy. Yeah, I think I mentioned the health belief model. Somebody mentioned self-efficacy and social cognitive theory.
Yeah, I think that was the one they came up with it. Well, not that he came up with it, but he pointed out. I like that one too.
Mm-hmm. Maybe self-efficacy, huh?
Mm-hmm. Self-efficacy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, self-efficacy is also part of health belief, but yeah, self-efficacy. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then what else? Describe intervention components, materials, and procedures. So that's easy enough. State how you'll evaluate each component. Okay, so how are we going to evaluate the components?
Evaluate the components.
Maybe the tolerance, like like we could do a study as to how long they can do it in the beginning, and then periodically, like at 1 month, how much longer they can participate, that kind of thing.
I think we can also check, like maybe their like a BP, heart rate, those before and after.
What about sustained attendance if they continue to come? Because
there you go. That's a better one and easy.
Because I think people are only going to come to these things if they're feeling like it's helping. They're not just going to come just to socialize. To do that, I would think they'd go to the senior center or something. So I think it's going to have, I think we could simplify that.
So evaluate, sustain participation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then the project cost, so we'd have to do a outline like we talked about, and DRHA resource that would be useful. Oh, there you go. You had said use the PT room?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then state how you propose to sustain the intervention after the funding has ended. Okay, well that we could use the Medicare with, the Medicare exercise. You know, after the funding ends, that we can bill Medicare.
And if we're using the money to buy items that are long-lasting, like you said, like mats or handouts and giveaways to get them to come, bags or whatever, if we're using the money that way, and we're using a volunteer for the class, and we're using our own property for being able to do it, it should be easily sustainable. And I know from doing these kind of programs myself, when you're looking at sustainability, the organization will say, okay, go ahead and do it. But as soon as the money's gone, that's it. If you can't keep it going, then the program shuts down. So as long as we buy the things that we wouldn't be able to buy in the future, like, I don't know, if you're doing yoga, the yoga mats, or if you're doing sneakers, the pedometers, the steps, or whatever.
Yeah, I think that sounds great.
What about like little weights that they could do if they go walking? You know, they do their
Yeah, the little hand weights.
Yeah.
If you could buy weight money.
You know, just like some 2.5 pound steel weights. They're pretty cheap. Ankle weights, something like that.
They have the little 1 pound weights even that they put in their hands.
Like a dumbbell.
Yeah, and they have 1, 2.5, 5, 10. So you could just get a set of those.
But they'd be pretty inexpensive and they'd last a long time. I think that would be something else that we could, you know, use it with that initial money for.
Then does DRHA have a nutritionist? Because we could also have nutritional counseling if they had, you know, along with the PT room.
Yeah, I was also thinking the DRHA resources have some other staff, like a physical therapist and, yeah, nurse, too. We can use the resources to help, right? It's just not just volunteers for the program.
Right. And we use our dietitians from the cafeteria and from the rest of the hospitals. We use our dietitians.
Yeah.
Doctor who's teaching yoga right now. We have our doctors who do our speeches. PT, one of our physical therapists came and did yoga for us at one point. So yeah, I think those are all good resources.
Yeah.
What if we drove this a little bit different direction and we incorporated integrative therapies into this? You know, like maybe if they're walking or something like that and having sustained pain, maybe acupuncturist or reflexology or something like that.
Well, you could have a weekly topic. You could have an exercise stretch program with a weekly speaker who introduce new modalities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, also like a therapeutic touch therapist. You know, all those you could think of like holistic medicine or.
Why don't we do something like this? Like, we have so many weeks that we evaluated over, and each week we introduce something different. Like 1 week during the exercise, whatever it is that we've chosen to do, 1 week you try the oils. The next week we try touch therapy. The next week we try maybe Reiki. The next week we maybe do acupuncture, and have somebody come in for all of those things, talk about it, try it with the patients, whatever group it is that we have, and then at the end we could do a survey to see which one worked best for them, and then we would have a little bit of that.
So do like a hands-on, like a regular like senior stretch program with a weekly hands-on therapeutic intervention.
Yes.
And lecture.
That's it. You know, when we were in one of our other classes, I did a whole semester of researching on Tai Chi, and you know, the data actually shows that it brought down people's blood pressures, and it brought down their A1Cs. It was absolutely amazing, the quantifiable data that was available for Tai Chi. So a lot of these modalities really, really work, and I think that your idea, Yuhong, of taking some baseline numbers and just seeing, you know, maybe we have a cholesterol and A1C, a blood pressure, and, you know, all of those standard on everybody who starts the program.
Yeah, then we measure that after the program.
Before and after every week, or
so the whole program.
Weekly, and then at the end of the program.
Yep.
Yeah. So how long do you think this program will last? Like 3 months? 2 months?
12 weeks? Well, I would do more like, you might want to do more like 6 weeks, because then we only have to do 6 modalities. Because you have to think how extensive we're going to make this. And we can do each one for 2 weeks if we wanted to. 6 things each 2 weeks. What do you think?
You want to do?
Yeah, 2 weeks probably. Otherwise, it's kind of overwhelming. Like each week, if
Yeah.
there's something new, you know, like yeah. So give them some time to absorb.
So the first class would be us trying to get the baselines and everything and tell them what's going to happen and having a class. And then the next time, so we could do what, 5, and then a follow-up at the end, so we could do 7 classes. That seems reasonable for anybody to commit to.
Yeah, I'm just afraid that a new one every week is going to be overwhelming. I think you
Yeah.
might be right with that.
Yeah, every 2 weeks. Then. I think that's reasonable.
Because you would really want to try to implement something that they could maybe go home and try to use for the 2 weeks.
So how many weeks total?
But most studies are a little bit longer than 5 weeks.
Yeah, when I read those literatures, I think usually it's like 2 months or 3 months. So 3 months is like 12 weeks. So that sounds more like 12 weeks. We do every 2 weeks. So still 6 autos. Yeah.
Or do 5, and you could do a start week where you do just a stretch and then explain everything, and then do 5 over 10 weeks, and then have a wrap-up week. And then you could ask them how they liked it and get their information on what they would like to continue with. Because we're supposed to sustain this. It's supposed to be how do you keep it going after you run out of money. It's an intervention over a 1-year period. So we can't just we could do a trial for that amount of time, but then we'll have to choose an intervention to keep going with over the year. So we either choose one for the whole thing, or we do a trial and then have them choose one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because it has to be. They're asking us to do it for a year.
What if we did alternating? What if 1 week we did like a walk the track or something like that, and then the next week we did water aerobics, and then it would be a rotating topic, and it would simplify things for us maybe a touch with a varying education.
How do you do that for a year?
Well, I mean, if you did, say you did it on a 1-month basis.
Okay.
Week 1 and 3 would be physical activity as a walk, and then weeks 2 and 4 might be water exercises, water activity, and then week 1 might be integrative therapies, where we bring in an integrative therapy person. Week 2 would be nutrition. Week 3 could be something else. Week 4, and then it just rotates. Would that work?
Yeah, that would work too. And then when you just have it on a rotation basis.
Right. Every month it'd be scheduled because older people like routines. That way they would know what they're signing up for.
So the first Sunday of every month would be a walk, and the second Sunday of every month would be water aerobics. Third Sunday of every month would be meditation, that kind of thing.
Right.
So we just have 4 modalities that repeat regularly.
I like it because they would change it up. It'd be something that I would do. I think if they do the same thing over and over again, then it gets redundant.
So you would have physical, water, and then maybe spiritual, and then medical or something like that. So 4 main headings, and then the topic could actually rotate.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
I think it would work. I'm good with any of these ideas. I think that would work, and then you could do, you could still do it out of the hospital, do it out of the base of there if they wanted to. Meet at the hospital and walk, or meet at the hospital, use the pool, meet at the hospital, use a room to do meditation and stretching. We just have to find the rooms.
So basically, this is just like 1 week, a 1 month program. You just repeat every month.
Yeah, and then you could do a baseline at 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months, and compare.
Yeah, that would still work.
You do
So
quarterly.
basically, 4 different interventions. I mean, for the under this program.
Right. That's kind of what I was thinking. Is even if you
4 activities. Okay.
to do the physical aspect, and then there was coaching, some sort of coaching. 1 week could be integrative therapies, and then you could vary that every month. One could be Reiki, one could be Tai Chi, one could be something else. Every month there'd be a different integrative therapy, and then nutrition, whatever it might be. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you did physical, let's see, we could do physical.
I think if you do it that way, then you have a better, for your sustainability, you have a better idea of what people enjoyed. So if everybody came to Reiki and nobody came to the pool day, then we would know, oh, they don't want to go in the pool, they want to go to Reiki. And
Right.
we would, and then it's a part of our sustainability plan that we would say that those that we got more than a 50% return rate on would be the ones that we would continue on for the next year, so that we weren't wasting our time and energy on something that nobody was going to attend.
Okay, so what do we want the 4 main headings to be then? Physical activity, water therapy, alternative modalities, and what's the next one?
Nutrition.
Nutrition, yeah.
So how would we do, but we would want some sort of activity. So how do you do it, like cooking? Like a cooking?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe a cooking, like a kitchen, yeah.
Yeah, we actually have our chef come in and we do it kind of like Emerald style. We actually have it filmed by our film crew, and then we project it up on the TV just so you can, kind of like they do in the cooking shows, and you can see what they're cooking, and yeah, our film guys going around filming it.
So what are the 4 topics again?
So if we did physical activity, something with water, like we could do wellness through water. So physical activity, wellness through water, alternative modalities, and nutrition. And the nutrition be nutrition/cooking.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's good. But this first physical activity or this water activity, I think we should use a different name, right? Because actually both kind of are physical activities. So
right, that's why I said wellness through water, because you could do water aerobics, but you could also do like well, see, I don't know that you can't really do like tub immersion, and you can't. I don't know how we would do water. I think physical activity, one of the activities should be water aerobics, and we need a 4th heading. Unless you can think of several things to do with water. Unless it's like trips to like a lake or field trips or to the beach or. But then what do you do in the winter? Or if you just do lots of different types of water aerobic classes. Like,
well, we can think of something else like for for social interaction. Yeah, like a trip to somewhere. I think sounds an idea.
But then we have to arrange for transportation.
Oh yeah.
Well, with water therapy, because I know we did water aerobics, then we actually did floating and meditation, where they would float and they would walk them through it, like they would verbalize a relaxation. So you could do water aerobics, water stretching, floating, and meditation. I mean, we could make up a bunch of water classes if we wanted to.
Okay, yeah, so basically that's physical.
The Y or something. Couldn't we get onto like the YMCA and see what they offer too?
Oh yeah, I mean I think we can come up with water activities. I think water's very healing. So I think it would be, sometimes maybe you do water therapy at the the PT room, and then maybe sometimes we take them to the Y, or we meet at the Y. I think we can make water work. I think we'll make
Yeah,
water.
too.
yeah, okay, then we can just do this then. Physical activity and then water, or wellness through water, or whatever.
Wellness through water, and then alternative.
Water activity.
And then nutrition, cooking and nutrition.
Yeah. Mhm.
So it's going to integrate social activity with physical activity. Right?
Yeah. Mhm. Actually, they all can, all these four interventions, yeah, they all enhance social interactions. Yeah. Mhm.
So do we...
The YMCA has a ton of stuff, Janine. They have a ton of examples. They've got these old
Great.
line dancing and senior or shallow water circuits, golden water fitness.
There you go.
There's a ton.
Okay. So then how do we want to break this up? Because now we got to divide up the tasks and everybody take a section and start working on a PowerPoint.
Yeah. Mhm.
I'm happy to start the base PowerPoint if it helps. Just get a blanket PowerPoint out there and email it to you guys, and you guys can create slides or get me the information and I'll plug it in. Or I do PowerPoints a lot, unless somebody else wants to do it, but I'm happy to do that. They're not difficult.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you, Jeannie. But you can also load it onto the Google Docs, and we can, write on.
How about I create a PowerPoint with blank slides, and then I'll email it, and I don't do Google Docs. Can you load it onto Google Docs for us, Yuhong?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's easy. Mm-hmm.
So we just need to, and then just remember on PowerPoints, it's just bullet points, guys. It's not really extensive. If we want to do we can definitely do a reference slide at the end, but we want to make sure we can present this in 15 minutes and it's just quick bullet points. You could do the notes at the bottom of the slides,
Mm-hmm.
but the slides themselves need to be uncluttered.
Yeah, so the notes at the bottom actually also can be our narrative notes, right? Like
Right, we just read off those, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have done these PowerPoint presentations before, right? I know Yuhong has with me.
Yeah, we had this project. I don't know what that was, but yeah, it was fun. I think the only problem sometimes, when you do it on Google Docs, when you then download to your real PowerPoint program, I think sometimes there's some issue. I think, yeah, like formatting sometimes.
I'm happy just to email it around and then post it periodically because they did give us a work area for this one.
Okay, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do that instead?
I do.
Okay.
Okay. So we basically email you our contents and you kind of copy paste onto it, or?
Yeah, exactly. Well, what I'll do first is I will I'll go ahead and create a document and then I'll submit it. I'll put it in there for you guys to look at. Make sure you like the colors, the setup. I'll do a couple sample slides. And then, you can send me your bullet points and your notes, and I can integrate them in. That's not a problem.
Okay.
It's just copy and pasting.
Yeah.
So then we just
identify who's working on what section, because I'd hate for us to double work.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have her agenda in front of you? Because it has all the bullet points on it.
Yes,
there
I
are.
Yeah, I have. So
10, 12.
1, 2, 3, 4.
There's like 15 things.
I'll take the bottom 6.
The bottom, the theory, the intervention components, how you'll evaluate. You want to do all that?
Well, the top part of it is pretty
I think the top 3, the introduction and qualification, we should write our own, actually we haven't talked about this. What about the introduction and qualification? Should we make up some, our resume or like, create some roles or?
Well, we have to do our bios for the other group too, that we're in.
Yeah.
But if you just How about this? How about I set up the PowerPoint and I do the first. I can do the first 3 or 4. The first 3 or 4 are pretty easy, and then I'll get your qualifications and I'll make a qualification paragraph or slide as a whole what we can provide as a unified team.
Yeah. How about you do first 3, because the 4th I can do the 4th because you're already doing a lot of work. So.
Okay, well I'll do the first 3 and then I'll do the setup of it.
Okay.
So just remember, whatever we do, we're going to then have to present it. So it kind of has to be divided evenly so that we present evenly.
Let me see. Then we have to decide like how many slides or for each, so then we can do that evenly, kind of give them the impression, like, you know.
Well, you only have 15 minutes, so we're not going to be able to do more than a slide per bullet point. You only have, at max, there's 15 there. We've got 15 minutes. Right?
Yeah.
So really, each of us should do 4.
Okay, so you want to do first?
Or I can do 3, and you guys can each do 4 or something. However you want to do it.
Yeah, you can do first. Well, you want to do first 4. I can do middle 4, or. So
I think the theory, stating the theory and describing the intervention components is going to. I think those 2 are going to take. I think you can talk a lot about those 2. But I don't think you should take all 6, Lisa. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So you want to do bottom 4 then? Let me see. 4 of us.
What do you want to do, Dave?
Well, Janine, I think you're right. I think you should do the top 3. We should divide the other 12 among us, and then we figure it out. So Lisa said she wanted the bottom 4, right?
Right.
All right, let's do that. So
I'll do the top 4 after Janine, then.
So I've got the state the interventions down to describe the intervention component materials.
You 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait a minute.
No, actually, no, because this provide rationale, there's 3 there. See, there's 3 bullets there. So this whole describe the health promotion intervention, that's 4, right? If you look at this way.
Where are you? What is it? Which bullet point are you? Oh.
Okay, so this, for example, here, this describe this health and promotion intervention to address the problem. Do you remember?
Yeah, that's a section.
Yeah.
That's 4 right there.
Section, there's actually 4 bullets, right? Because
so
state the intervention, there's 1. And then provide rationale, there's a 3 down there.
So the describe health promotion and the 3 bullet points, that should be 1 section for somebody.
Okay, you consider. Okay, yeah, I think.
But that means somebody's going to have to do the top 2 and then state a theory and describe intervention. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me see. So how about I do this? So this a general description of the lifespan group and the description of the current problem. Then I'll do state the theory, and then or Dave do this describe the health promotion intervention. Then do this describe the intervention components material like that. We kind of split like that. What do you think, Dave?
And then you do this data theory, and so I would do the first 3. You would do the next 2. Dave would do the describe the health promotion with all the components. Then you would do the next 2, and Lisa would do the bottom 4.
No, I'll do the next, like, state of theory, and then Dave will do describe the intervention.
Well, that works for me as long as that works for Dave.
No, because I think earlier you said if somebody did this intervention, objective, and rational, then got to do another one or something. Or I mean, I can do.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out, describe the health promotion intervention to address the problem. That's that's really like 4 slides.
Mm.
So it's the top slide and then the key points and then 2 scholarly sources and then any other rationale. So to me that's 4 like combined together, but that's just how I'm reading it.
Okay. So I can do the state of theory and describe the intervention components, material, and recent procedures then.
Cool.
Okay.
As long as you make it simple, you don't have to make it really hard, you know?
Okay.
Because I don't want you to feel like you're doing 4 big pieces.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, we only have 15 minutes. Yeah. So.
Yeah, so really you've got a minute per slide at most.
Like we're doing that health summary, we have to cut a lot of things, remember?
Mm-hmm.
So we tend to write a lot.
Okay, so I'm doing the intervention objectives, right?
If that's okay with you. So you would do all the bullet points under that.
Provide the key rationale for the intervention and then the 3 sub-bullets, right?
Yeah. And and somehow make that 4 slides. Like the first one with the 2 bullet points and then the next 3, or however you want to divide it up. But can you divide that into 4 slides?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll do the first 3 slides. Yuhang will do the next 2. Dave will do the describe the health promotion and all those components. Then Yuhang will do state of theory and describe the intervention, and then Lisa will do the last 4.
Yeah.
Because Lisa, you're going to have evaluate a component plus the project costs and resources, so you'll have enough to do with those 4.
I think that if somebody needs me to pick up something else, I can do that as well. I just want to make sure that, well, as soon as we finish this, I want to go back to something else we talked about.
What's that?
As soon as we finish deciding which parts we're doing for the PowerPoint, I want to go back to the project itself.
Oh, sure.
I just need everybody's annotated bibs because I don't want to just use my bibs for this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no worries. I'll send them to you.
Okay. It's in mine too.
So when we put out the minutes, I don't know who's doing the minutes, but when we do the minutes, can we get them? Can we make it very clear what the 4 weeks or the 12? It's 12 weeks, and what the 4 interventions or the 4 programs are going to be, because that's going to drive everything that I'm doing.
So I think we've got too much. I think to try to do 4 different things, you know, if you take 4 times 12, 48 different things in a year, I think it's too much.
I thought that we were going to do like a 3-month program and then repeat it 4 times in a year.
Okay, so then we would need 12.
So 12.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is we had 12 weeks, and that there were 2 weeks of one particular intervention. There was a starting week, and then there were 2 weeks of a class, a type of class, and that was done 4 times, and then or 5 times, and then there was an ending class. Is that right?
It is. I'm just wondering where in here we put that. Is that in the intervention components?
Components.
Yes.
So I think you do it high level. I don't think you waste a lot of time developing whether it's water aerobics or floating. I think you do the 4 on a rotation basis and explain that will sometimes it'll be this, sometimes it'll be that when you're talking, because otherwise you're going to have to somehow do bullet points for all of that. So you could just do the 4 main ones and then explain that it's on a rotation basis every 3 months. You know what I mean? I just think you're going to end up with too much otherwise.
I agree, but the problem is that to become able to come up with a budget, you cannot be that broad.
I'm sorry, budget, you can't be what?
You can't be that broad. You have to be more detailed, and we have to know what we are teaching in order to come up with what we're going to spend our $10,000 on. Whether you think about it in the PowerPoint or not, you still have to be able to say what we're spending our money on. Are we spending it on water aerobics things? Are we spending it on food for the nutrition class, or are we spending it on yoga mats? I mean,
right, but you should be able to say for physical exercise we need to do yoga mats. For water aerobics we need to do earplugs and goggles. You know what I mean? I think you can make it higher level.
right,
I'm just afraid it might get too.
What I'm trying to say is that I just need to confirm what classes we're saying that we're doing and what the program is.
So you want us each to come up with a month's worth of programs, and then you can decide?
No, I just want to go back to what we said before, because what I've got, and make sure that I'm right on this, because what I've got written down is that we have one, and I don't know that we ever really got through it, that we had one physical activity, one water activity, one alternative activity, and one nutrition activity.
Right.
Is that what everyone else has?
That sounds right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then you want us to give you some suggestions right now for all of those?
No, I just wanted to confirm that those were the right ones.
Yeah, it sounds correct to me.
So our objective is to get these people moving, right?
And retain independency. Be it independency in bathing, or independency in walking, or independency in caring for oneself.
Independence, how about mobility?
Well, yeah, mobility and independency kind of will go hand in hand, but yes.
Yeah, and then to improve their quality of life.
Yes, through physical activity and socialization. Absolutely.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So we're just going to retain independence for chronically ill people related to mobility, right?
Yes. Retain independence and encourage socialization.
Socialization.
For older adults with chronic illnesses.
So the only question that I have is that how are we going to, what measure are we going to have that's going to make this, that we can quantify or qualify to where Medicare will pay for it? Do we have anything?
But Medicare is already paying for it.
Well, Medicare pays for their physical activity program. I'm not sure how I can see if I can find out how. I don't know how to find out how.
We could maybe bill it out as a PT. Well, not if we're doing nutrition.
No, they actually they allow it. I just need to figure out how to figure out that scenario.
How about the new preventive program? But Medicare starts to pay, or this Obamacare starts to pay for preventive interventions, right?
Yeah, and I'm sure that's where it falls into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You sound stuck, Dave.
I'm just reading Medicare stuff and it's trying to put me to sleep.
Mm.
It's just saying that it has to be specialized group exercises that'll increase strength, flexibility, and energy.
Well, there you go.
So there's some kind of criteria that these gym memberships have to meet in order to qualify for Medicare. So we would probably just need to speak to that to some level, high level.
Even if you speak to that, if you say just what you just said, Medicare covers programs up to X amount of dollars. Do you have a? Does it give you a CPT code for it wherever you're looking?
No.
All right, I can have. Let me. I'll ask Brandy to look at it tomorrow and see if she can find a CPT code that has anything to do with that, and get a. Because I can put it into my Medicare. If I have a CPT code, I can put it into my Medicare program and spit out an amount they'll pay for you.
And it's saying that you have to be a member of Medicare Part C, the Advantage Plan.
So there's probably an application process.
Yep.
Can we say that GHRA is already a Medicare Part C participant?
Absolutely.
So why don't we just do that? Because I'm sure they're CMS deemed. They have to be.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So we'll just say, as we're already Medicare, or deemed Medicare status, and members of the Medicare Part C, then we can go ahead and you qualify for reimbursement for these activities for these seniors. I would just go that route.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'm just looking at my three and trying to figure out how I'm going to do. I don't know how with those three I'm going to do 3 minutes of speaking, because really it's a descriptive title of your presentation, group members and dates, objectives for the presentation, and introductions and qualifications of your group to conduct a health promotion intervention. That's not very much. Yuhong, I think you should let me take the first 4, and then you take those other 3, because I think those other 3 are a lot, and then because the general description of the lifespan for the group chosen for the intervention is nothing.
Mm.
But Janine, you're putting this all together too. I think that's another piece.
Yeah, then we can let them know, and you did all this, so that's your credit.
Okay, well then why don't we time it so I do like a 15-second introduction, do my 3, and then I'll pop back in at the end and do a 15-second closing.
I think that's a good way.
Yes,
Okay.
You can take the hard sell.
Yeah. Okay. Will you feel better, Yuhong? Do you feel like we have some direction?
Yeah. I just have one more question about this intervention. Well, we talk about components. These are our physical activity, water, wellness, and alternative intervention, and this nutrition, cooking, dietitian. What are procedures? Do I need to mention, or what the procedure means? Like exactly what do we do, or teach them how to cook, or teach nutrition?
Yeah, I would think materials and procedures would be. I would think procedures would be the classes you're put on, who the instructors are, who's going to oversee it. I would think it would be voting on the procedures, overseeing the screenings, and execution of the classes. I think you just make it easy.
Screening, or you mean like a screening their health condition before the program, and then screen after, and then measure or do the measurements after?
Well, I would do a pre-screening at the beginning, and then one every quarter, every 3 months.
Every 3 months, okay.
When do we need to have this completed by?
What's that?
You have to have this completed by. I think, aren't we supposed to tape it next week?
Yeah, it won't be until, let me see, until Sunday, next Sunday, right? I need to double check here. Yeah.
A week from Sunday, or
Yeah, a week from, it's basically week 6, Sunday.
that's when it's
March
due? Well,
6th.
what's the actual due date?
That's October 11th.
Okay, so next Sunday is October 4th.
Right, so it's a week after the next Sunday. So we still have a lot of
So
time.
do we want to plan on trying to get our act together with it so that we can tape on Sunday, or do we want to make another time? We'll have to set up another meeting time to tape. We have to tape this.
Yeah, you know, that's actually my another question, because how do we tape this with PowerPoint? You know, with a PowerPoint function, you can do one person, like you do your PowerPoint, you can record that, your audio. But what about for all of us together? Do we use this to the shared document, or how would this work? That will take a long time. I think we'll waste a lot of time doing the documents. I don't know how we record.
I would suggest that we do it just like this, and we do some screen sharing.
But
So,
every time we talk about different slide, you have to, you know, can you move the slide like for the PowerPoint on the screen?
well, what
share?
person would have
Right.
control over it?
Right. I could pull the PowerPoint up on my screen, Yohong, and then every time, you know, when you're through the speaking points, you could say next slide. You know,
Yeah.
and then at the end we could do closing. We could switch back and forth between the screen as we do different speakers. I mean, I think there's a ton of different things that we can do technologically.
Yeah, I know with this with screen sharing, it takes a long time. Sometimes we'll waste a lot of time doing that. But we can try, definitely, yeah.
Well, what if Dave, are you comfortable doing the taping and the screen sharing?
Yes.
Okay, so then why don't we let him worry about that, Yuhong, and we'll trial it. That's why I'm thinking we should give it a shot maybe on Monday, just a trial run.
Okay. You
I
want
don't
Monday
know.
or Sunday?
Is that too much to get done, guys, between now and then with everything else?
Well, we have to do it, so I think Sunday or Monday will be okay.
I say we give it a shot on Monday, and if we just totally don't have it together, that gives us a whole week to get it together.
Okay, so we'll shoot for next Monday at 8 to do our taping and have our PowerPoint complete.
Okay.
It's only 15 minutes, and each of us only, you know, it's not that long.
Yeah, actually, after we do that, if we feel good, we can submit that, but otherwise, we can just do it again. It's just only 15 minutes, yeah.
Right, and it's a maximum of 15 minutes.
Yeah, so we can just get that done that night, actually.
That would be golden if we could do it.
Yeah. You know, so, okay, we can sit, yeah, for that.
So how about if I will get you guys some sort of a PowerPoint outline by Thursday evening, and in the meantime work on your stuff, and then we can just plug it in. But I'm hoping to get it done before that, but for me to set it up and do all that, Thursday's the first day off I have. Will that work?
Okay.
It's just a matter of plugging in our information into the PowerPoint.
Can everybody send me their annotated bibs before Thursday?
I'll get one. Our 1 and 2 is the first 2 are fine, but I haven't finished my 3rd one for this week yet.
Overachiever.
What's that?
Overachiever.
I have not finished it, I said.
I haven't even picked it.
Yeah, me neither.
I haven't even started it. How's that? But I'm not going to be able to do a whole lot till Thursday, but I can for sure get it to you till Thursday, on Thursday, if not.
If you just send me 1 and 2, that'll give me 8 bibs to pick from. I can pick the most relevant stuff, and we can go from there.
All right, I'm just going to do it before the evening is over.
Perfect. So are we good?
Okay.
I think we're good.
Lisa, I'm going to, when this is done, I'll email you the link. Can you post it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then, who's scribe?
Me.
Are we gonna? Do we want to just put people's names by the bullet points or no?
We sure can. I mean, The first four are you, Janine, right?
First three, building the PowerPoint, and the first three are me.
Okay, and then a general description of the lifespan group chosen. That's you, Hong, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And the next one's Yu Hong also.
Right, with the 2 subs, and then the next one, state the intervention objectives. That's me. The one below it, provide rationale. That's also me. State of theory is you, Hong.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last 5 are Lisa.
No, last 4. I do
No.
the describe the intervention components.
Okay.
So it's
Yep.
me, Yu Hong, you, Dave, Yu Hong, and then Lisa.
Yep.
And
Correct.
then I'll do a closing. I'll do an opening and a closing, just a quickie.
Got it.
Okay, are we good?
We're good.
You want me to go ahead and call it?
Sure.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to close at 9:22. Thank you, guys. Great work.
Thank you.